Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to say thank you for coming in this presentation and glad to see you all. So first of all, let me introduce myself and my partner. I am Modawati as the first speakers and Mukarama as the second speakers and Aldi Prabowo as the third speakers and Fatri Nurdina Sari Bakri as the first speaker. So let's move to the first material about the 6 steps in analyzing and interpreting qualitative data. So the first is it is inductive in form, going from the particular or the detailed data or the general course and terms. Keeping this in mind helps you understanding how qualitative researches produce broad terms or categories from diverse detailed databases. Although the initial analysis consists of subdividing the data, the final goal is to generate a large consolidated picture. And the second is it involves a simultaneous process of analyzing while you are also collecting data. In qualitative research, the data collection and analysis and perhaps the report writing are simultaneous activities. When you are collecting data, you may also be analyzing other information previously collected looking for major ideas. This procedure differs from traditional approach in quantitative research in which data collection occurs first followed by data analysis. And the next is the phases are also iterative, meaning you cycle back and forth between data collection and analysis. In qualitative research, you might collect stories from individuals and return for more information to fill gaps in their stories as your analysis of their story procedures. And next, qualitative researchers analyze the data by reading it several times and conducting an analysis each time. Each time you read your database, you develop a deeper understanding about the information supplied by your participants. And the next is there is no single accepted approach to analyzing qualitative data, although several guidelines exist for this process. It is an eclectic process. And the last is qualitative research is interpretive research, in which you make a personal assessment as to a description that fits the situation or themes that capture the major categories of information. The interpretation that you make of transcript, for example, differs from the interpretation that someone else makes. This doesn't mean that your interpretation is better or more accurate. It simply means that you bring your own perspective to your interpretation. So I think this is all about the 6 steps in analyzing and interpreting qualitative data, and the next material will be continue with my partners. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Mukarramah. I would like to continue our material. B. Preparing and organizing the data for analysis. The first, organize data. Organization of data is critical in qualitative research because of the large amount of information gathered during a study. The extensive data that an interview yields often surprise new research. For example, a 30-minute interview will often result in about 20 pages of single-spec transcription. With this sizable amount of data, the transcribing and organizing of information requires a system of organization. The second, transcript data. Transcription is the process of converting audio tape recording or field notes into text data. You may use a transcriptionist to type your text files or you can transcribe the information yourself. In either case, for interview data, transcriptionists need special equipment to help create the transcript. The 3, analysis by hand or computer. The hand analysis of qualitative data means the researchers read the data. mark it by hand, and divide it into parts. With the popularity of computers, research have a choice about whether to hand analysis data or to use a computer. And the last, number 4, use of qualitative computer programs. A qualitative data analysis computer program is a program that stores data, organizes your data, enables you to assign labels or coders to your data, and facilitates searching through your data or local theme-specific C text or words.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Aldi Prabowo. I am from group 6. Now I will continue about the material. I will explain about the exploring and coding the data. There's 2 points that we will explain, and the first point is explore the general sense of the data. Preliminary exploratory analysis in qualitative research consists of exploring the data to obtain a general sense of the data. Memorizing ideas, thinking about the organization of the data, and considering whether you need more data. And the second is coding the data. The object of the coding process is to make sense out of text data. Divide it into text or image segments. Label the data segments with code. Examine codes for overlap and redundancy, and collapse these codes into broad terms. And the next material is using the codes to build description and terms. Describing and developing themes from the data consists of answering the major research questions and forming an in-depth understanding of the central phenomenon through description and systematic development. There are 2 points. The first point is description, because description is a detailed rendering of people, place, or events in a setting in qualitative research. It is easiest to store the analysis after the initial reading and coding of the data. To describe an individual, the quantitative analysis might ask, what is this person like? For describing a place, the question might be like this: what is the place like? Or where in the school do students go to smoke? And the second point is themes. In addition to description, the use of themes is other way to analyze qualitative data, because themes are similar codes aggregated together to form a major idea in the database. There form core elements when qualitative data analysis, like codes. Themes have labels that typically consist of no more than 2 to 4 words, like Daniel, campus, and planning. So that's the material that I can explain, and the rest will be continued by my friend. Thank you.
Well, thanks for the chance. I am Patri Nurdina Sari Bakri, and I will continue the material. I'm taking part E and F. Part E is about presenting and reporting findings, while part F is interpreting findings. Okay, as you can see in the screen, the first point of part E is representing findings. According to Mills and Hoberman in 1994, qualitative researchers often display their findings visually by using figures, picture, the argument, the discussion.
the discussion. The different ways to display the data, the first one is create a comparison table. The second is develop a hierarchical tree diagram. The third is present figures. Next, draw a map, and the last is develop a demographic table. Okay, the second point is reporting findings. The primary form for presenting and reporting findings in qualitative research is a narrative discussion. A narrative discussion is a written passage in a qualitative study in which others summarize in detail and the findings from their data analysis. Okay, the next is interpreting findings. What defines the interpretation? Okay, interpretation in qualitative research means that the researcher steps back and forms some larger meaning about the phenomenon based on personal view, comparison, possibly the study, or both. Qualitative research is an interpretive research, and you will need to make a sense of the finding. You will find the interpretation in a final section of a study under headings such as discussion, conclusion, interpretation, or implication. Well, the section includes the first one is a review of major findings and how the research question were answered, and the second is a personal reflection of the researcher about the meaning of the data, and the third is a personal compare with the literature, and the next is suggestion for the future research, and the last is limitation of the study. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for your attention.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Mukarramah. I would like to continue our material. In this page, the last material G. Validation the accuracy of the findings. Validation findings means the research determining the accuracy or credibility of the findings through strategies such as member checking or triangulation. Several qualitative research have researched this idea. Criswell and Miller, 2000. Lincoln and Guba, 1985. Qualitative research don't typically use the word bias in research. They will say that all research is interpretive and that the research should be self-reflective about his or her role in the research. How he or she is interpreting the findings and his or her personal and political history that shapes his or her interpretation. Criswell, 2007. Thus, accuracy or credibility of the findings is of utmost importance. I think enough for me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.